he can't beat you. I'ma 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 beat you. Pussy. I'ma beat you. I'ma beat you. I'm reading everything. You soft. You soft. You soft.
Gervonta Davis, Devin Haney, the fight that will easily overshadow the rivalry between Tank and Flash. But right now, the Dream is not in a hurry to test his powers against Gervonta. Instead, Haney signs the contract to fight Ryan Garcia, thinking that it's easy money for him. Is it true though? Dear friends, today's video is dedicated to 5 reasons why Ryan Garcia beats Devin Haney. Please don't forget about the likes, comments with forwards, and subscribe to the channel. Here we go. Number 5. Underestimation from Haney. Sounds counterintuitive, but constant wins only make us weaker and more vulnerable. After losing the fear of defeat, people, boxers in particular, become overconfident, their instinct of self-perseverance gets duller, which inevitably leads to a downfall. Right now, Devin Haney is only 25 years old, but he already built such a career that it wouldn't be shameful to retire. The Dream is on a streak of 31 victories, never lost on a single scorecard, and became an undisputed champion by beating, though controversially, the guy who many called the most technical boxer in history. As of now, Devin moved up to super lightweight division and not only conquered the title in his debut, but also looked so incredible that many people couldn't believe their eyes. Yesterday's lightweight was beating the champion up with such ease as if he never tried on boxing gloves. Many explained a one-sided beatdown with Prograis' weakness, but the guy is far from being a punching bag and most likely can beat many top boxers in the division, better believe it. Having such a solid list of accomplishments and scalps of several prominent champions, Haney is about to fight a guy whose main achievement is the interim WBC belt. Do you really think Devin sees Ryan as his equal? I doubt it. Moreover, after Tank punked the Flash, the majority of the boxing community wrote the guy off, but it was rash. Indeed, Garcia did not have the best performance and did not show the qualities that made him a star, but one has to remember, he fought one of the best boxers of the division. I can bet that 90% of lightweights in the fight against Gervonta would go to sleep before the 6th round. Unfortunately, we can't get into the champion's head and find out what he really thinks of Ryan, but looking past him would be a huge mistake. Such an unpredictable and quickly improving guy like Flash always has a chance to succeed. Number 4. Size and physical power. Haney has a rather typical, I would even say classical style with a focus on working from the distance, jab and a huge volume that the opponent simply can't handle. If everything is so predictable and simple, then why even the most technical boxer on the planet couldn't deal with him? Apart from the fact that Devin's technique is fine-tuned to perfection, there are 2 correlating factors that play a role in his invincibility: physical power and size. The Dream is a very big and tough guy who is able to easily dominate any other lightweight in the clinch, which was especially evident in the fights where Devin was struggling. In critical moments, he often relies on his physical strength, which allows him to pressure the opponent. The champion is in tremendous shape thanks to his coaching team and dietitian who helped him to make the limit of the lightweight division. Right now, Haney moved up in weight as due to age and his body changes, it doesn't allow him to cut weight that easily. However, we shouldn't worry for Devin because with his size, he won't get lost in a new weight class. The Dream's height is almost 5'7" and his reach is even longer, which is a great trait for a shootout from a long range. It's also interesting that all the top boxers Haney fought in the lightweight division were inferior either in height, reach or in both aspects. Even Prograis from an upper weight class happened to be smaller than the Dream, but it won't be the case with Ryan. Garcia will be the first one in a long time who is taller than Devin and will not be inferior to him in reach. Perhaps they have like an inch difference, but for a boxer who fought smaller opponents his entire life, even a tiny difference can be very significant and play into the hands of the Flash. Besides that, Ryan is physically strong. He is always in decent shape, while his muscle mass continues to grow, which is why he moved up in weight. If Devin wants to take the advantage with physicality in the close range, I think he might encounter a worthy resistance. Number 3. Speed. If you start listing the boxers and their strong sides, when you get to Ryan, his speed would be the first call because it's his trump card. Garcia should be given credit as he managed to build his cool image based on this quality, making us perceive the word speed as his second name. What are we talking about? If we go to Garcia's Instagram page and watch any of the videos, we will most likely witness him setting another record for punches in a second, or how he trains showing an amazing speed in his hands. Damn, even his Flash nickname tells us one thing: one shouldn't blink watching this guy's fights or you might miss everything. Many fans don't agree that Ryan really possesses a high speed and call his record silly, not having anything to do with reality. Indeed, in real fights, Garcia does not throw 100 shots in 10 seconds, as it is the case in the videos, but there is no need for that. The true speed of King Rai comes down to his sudden explosions with his favorite punch we will talk about further, or furious combinations like the fight with Oscar Duarte. By the 8th round, it seemed like Garcia already gassed out and could eat some unnecessary shots. However, he managed to catch the opponent with his signature punch and then break him down with a barrage of strikes. There were even more examples of that in the Flash's earlier fights, and as of now, the only one who succeeded in nullifying Ryan's speed was Tank, who beat him by total superiority in boxing mastery and knockout power. I think that Davis could easily lose in terms of hand speed, but he is too smart to compete with the strongest trait of his opponent. So how can Ryan use his speed in the fight with Haney? Especially when we know that Devin is very fast as well. Sure, the champion is really agile, but he doesn't have a heavy punch. Knowing about that, Flash can intentionally force exchanges on his opponent where he will definitely eat a shot. However, thanks to his speed, he can land his left hook that will affect the outcome of the fight. But before that, he will have to deprive Haney of space so he doesn't get away from the line of attack. But if it was that simple, Garcia would be the favorite. Number 2. Left hook. At the press conference before the fight between Gervonta and Ryan, the left hook co-location was pronounced more than any other line. In his speech, Garcia stressed that he needs just one shot to not only win, but knock Davis out, but something went wrong. Where did he get this confidence? Before the first loss in his career, Ryan was a puncher with an unblemished record, but the majority of his victories was earned exactly with the left hook, which for many years has not only been the quickest, but also the most powerful strike in his arsenal. In fact, a skillful boxer can turn any punch into a deadly one, but it is namely the left hook that piles people up more frequently based on statistics. That's the reason why a bunch of boxers pay special attention to the left hook, and Ryan is one of the leaders of that movement. Or more so, may the old school boxing fans forbid me for this comparison, but in the last couple of years, Garcia looked like a Walmart version of Felix Trinidad, but in the lightweight division. Like Mighty Tito, Flash was slaying his opponents with a signature hook left and right. However, he met his own Bernard Hopkins. Can the left hook help him against Haney? Actually, it's hard to say, as every signature shot has a significant disadvantage. It gets less efficient over time. Every opponent figures out what to look out for the most and makes adjustments that help to avoid a signature shot. I think that even if Haney underestimates Ryan, he will still focus on his defense from a left hook and drill all the needed movements. It turns out that Garcia can come into this fight against such a dangerous opponent and not even land on him? Yes, that's possible. However, I wouldn't believe that much in Haney's defense. Garcia's left hook is truly quick and he can throw it at any moment, even moving backwards, while the power of his punches doesn't go anywhere. If Ryan ultimately manages to catch Devin at least once, I believe that the champion will regret it. Number 1. Knockout power. I already told you about how Ryan can knock Haney out. We even discussed in detail his touch of death, but didn't mention the reason why Devin can go down in the first place. The guy's still very young, even younger than Garcia himself, never been knocked down, and doesn't receive any significant damage with such a defensive sound style. Then how can Ryan drop him with a left hook, you might ask? To answer that question, we just need to look at the strongest opponents in the Dream's career. Vasily Lomachenko, a genius of technique and strategy, a true standard of a boxer with only one clear flaw: absence of knockout power. George Kambosos, a quite talented Australian fighter like Haney, likes to work from a long range, who also conquered lightweight titles thanks to 3 split decision victories. Jojo Diaz, a very skillful and tough Mexican who is able to adapt to any opponent and doesn't possess any kind of knockout power. Only 15 out of his 33 victories were earned via stoppages, and that is the case with almost every rival in the Dream's career. Without a doubt, all these guys are really great, but hey, like the champion himself, are not knockout artists, and that means that Haney's chin has not been properly tested yet. In reality, Devin has one serious test of his chin, and it happened in the fight with Jorge Linares. At the time of the fight, the golden boy from Venezuela was not young anymore, but he still was a serious force in the division, which he showed in the fight with the promising prospect. At first, Haney was ahead, but then Jorge began to connect his big shots and at a certain moment even wobbled the American. The championship rounds happened to be hell for the young blood, and he had to survive under the storm of punches from a fresh veteran. Linares is the most dangerous puncher in Devin's career, and he showed best that this guy is not perfect. He can be hurt, but to do so, one has to put in a lot of effort and eat some punches. If Garcia follows the example of the Venezuelan and fights aggressively, not giving Haney even an inch in the ring, he really has a chance to replicate the success of Jorge or even do better. The faith in King Rai's victory is fortified with the fact that Linares' signature strike that hurt Haney the most was the left hook. Maybe it's a sign from above, and Garcia really is the perfect boxer to beat Devin. Remember that all of the above is just my thoughts and speculations. Haney, who people think is even more talented than Gervonta, will go through Ryan without breaking a sweat with a 90% chance. Garcia will most likely have only one way to beat such an opponent: to enter the ring with a Glock 17 hidden in his shorts and make Haney surrender. What do you think about this fight? Leave your opinion in the comments below.